Before we get into the options, what we can do about it, let's touch base on how we got here. All right, that's half of the battle, is to understand that piece. First, the key issues people have with Advantage plans usually is around doctors, meaning they can't see the doctors, their doctors, and they thought they were going to be able to. And whoever, helped them with it or sold it to them more likely didn't really check the doctors or go into that. It's really complicated these days. Up north with Sutter, if you go down to LA, you have medical groups, kind of one online tool says they're in network, one doesn't. We have to double check sometimes with the carrier, with the network itself, the doctors sometimes. It's not fun, but we chase that down for people because it's a big piece. And a lot of times people get on Advantage plan, they try to go see their doctor or hospital and they find out they can't. That's problem number one, the biggest kind of complaint with Advantage plans. Number two is medications. They find out their medications aren't covered the way they thought they would be. That's why we always load in medications, dosages. We double check because tablets versus other kind of form factors will change that cost significantly. So we do all that up front. When you run a quote, we really recommend that you do it as well, but we can chase that down for you. Then there's other aspects. For example, a lot of people will jump on a PPO plan, Advantage PPO plan, and they think it's going to be like maybe the PPO plan they had pre-65 or like a Medicare Supplement, and it's not. It's still managed care, right? So it's not an HMO, it's not as restrictive, but it's not a Medicare Supplement. It's kind of in between. Yeah, you can refer yourself out. Yeah, you'll have some benefits out of network, but it's not going to be as robust as you think it is. They're going to nickel and dime you if you're out of network. And those nickel and dimes can add up because that back end max out of pocket can double sometimes. So we have to look at that and we help people understand that. Some people love the PPOs, some people don't. Then there are people who were on a Medicare supplement or traditional Medicare, and we'll talk about that. And then they switch to an Advantage plan and they just don't like the model. And that's the HMO piece of it. The restrictions, the constraint on who you can see and how care is managed. They didn't expect that. They don't like it, and they're very upset about it. All right, so that's the lay of the land of how we got here. Let's now talk about what we can do about it. And we really have to break this up into two pieces. One is, I want to go from one Advantage plan to another Advantage plan, maybe back to my old one, maybe to a PPO, maybe to a different one where I'm hearing good things about. I don't like my current one. Or one that works with my doctors, as we talked about. The other piece is people want to go from their Advantage plan back to traditional Medicare with or without a supplement. And that's a little more tricky. So we'll talk about that piece. Let's first jump into the beginning one, which is Advantage to Advantage, and look at our options there if we really hate our current plan. Okay, Advantage to Advantage. This is actually pretty easy. And we're going to give you some secrets that you're probably not going to hear about because they don't want to deal with extra work. All right, when you enroll on an Advantage plan during open enrollment, it's from October 15th to December 7th. And then you're kind of told, oh, you're on the hook until the end of next year. You have to stay on that plan for a year. And that's not the case. There's, for one, January through March, there's essentially a do-over period of time where you can make a change from your existing Advantage plan to another Advantage plan, or you can disenroll from Advantage during that period one time. So let's say you're January 15th, you've tried the new plan, you don't like it, or even February 15th, you can make a change for the next first of the month. So I get on a plan, by February 15th, I realize I just don't like it, it's not working for me. I can change to another Advantage plan I'll get a 3/1 effective date because I'm in the middle of February, but I can do that from January through March. That's a do-over period going from Advantage to Advantage. Also, one time during the year, you can switch to a 5-star plan if available in your area anytime during the year. So that's another thing that maybe you don't know about that we're giving you some clues on. 5-star basically means people really like that plan. So they're trying to get people a way out. If they happen to get on a bad plan, they're pushed into it, and then it turns out it's not working for them. You're out in June, July. you can move to a 5-star plan one time during the year. That's another piece. Then people with Medi-Cal, Medicare, starting in 2025, they can make a change any month. They can switch out. So it could be April 15th. I don't like my plan, Medi. I want to switch. I can move from Advantage to Advantage with Medi for the next first of the month. That's another little window. There are other kind of odd windows that are more specific. So reach out to us and we can help you understand that, the little quirks, like if you move, if you're involuntarily dropped from coverage, there are all kinds of little things that come into play. If you're new to Medicare and you try Advantage plan for the first time, you have kind of a 12-month window to get out of it if you want to. So we can talk about that specific to your situation. Reach out to us. No cost for assistance. Now, let's talk about the trickier piece, which is going from an Advantage plan back to just Medicare, meaning disenrolling from the Advantage plan. It's a little trickier. We'll explain why. Okay. Going from an Advantage plan back to Medicare with or without a supplement, that gets a little trickier. And let's talk about that. That usually comes up when someone tries an Advantage plan for the first time and they realize they really don't like it. Meaning they were sold or they saw, 0 premium. This is great. I'm paying $150 plus for a Medicare supplement. I can save all that money. I don't use healthcare that much. Let's jump on it. Then they find out, you're 65 and older. You understand nothing comes for free, right? There's no free ride in the universe. You have enough gotchas over a lifetime to kind of understand that. You always pay some way. And with an Advantage plan, care's more managed, and who you can see, how you access care, what's allowed, it's going to be different. And then you get into that and you find out, I really don't like this. I'm butting heads or pinch points that don't work with how I view healthcare. Okay, so what do? We hate our Advantage plan. How do we get back to Medicare? We can actually apply for a Medicare supplement anytime during the year, subject to underwriting, meaning based on health. And your health has to be pretty serious usually to be declined. We can get people enrolled with all kinds of health issues going on. That's not the problem. The problem is disenrolling from the Advantage plan because there are only certain times you can do that. October 15th to December 7th, you can enroll, change Advantage plans, or disenroll, go back to Medicare for a January 1 effective date. Also, that window we told you about, January through March, we can either change Advantage plans or we can disenroll back to Medicare. Here's the tricky part, and we can help you navigate this whole process. Let's lay out the ideal situation. It's this: around October, November of the year, you apply for the Medicare supplement you're interested in. We can run quotes across all the carriers. The G plan's by far the most popular. We're happy to explore that plan versus others and how they're different. No cost for assistance. And we look at all the major carriers. So we apply for the ideal, let's say, G plan we want, October to November for a January 1 effective date, because we're probably going to have to be medically underwritten based on health. So we want a little buffer. The reason we do this is once we get the approval back for the Medicare supplement, we then disenroll from the Advantage plan during that October 15th to December 7th window. We never want to drop a current plan until we have an approval on the other. The other thing this does is by losing the Advantage plan, we can now apply for a Part D plan for that same period. Now, what about that January to March window? We can actually use that as well. We would apply for the Medigap plan. Let's say we're in January, and we have this all the time when people didn't realize this, and the initial window, the October 15th, December 7th is already closed. Let's say we're in February, right? And we don't like the Advantage plan. We've tried it out for January, essentially. We can apply for the Medicare supplement, let's say for a 3/1 effective date. Once we're approved, we can then disenroll from the Advantage plan, or by applying for the Part D, it will automatically cancel out the Advantage plan. So careful on that. Never apply for a Part D, because it will automatically cancel out a Medicare Advantage plan that has Part D in it. So we have to coordinate this a little bit. If you're in that boat, reach out to us. We can help you strategize and look at this whole transition and make sure it's done correctly. Because if you make a mistake, you may end up applying for something, but you can't get out of the Advantage plan, or you get declined on the Medicare Supplement and you already canceled the Advantage plan. Well, we want to really avoid all of that. There's no cost for assistance. We'll run quotes across the board. We work with the major carriers. We'll help you navigate that so you can get off of that Advantage plan that you really don't like and get back to Medicare and or a supplement. There are other windows during which you can disenroll from Advantage plans, but they're more rare. So reach out to us with your situation so we can go over that. And let's get you out of that plan that you hate, because that's not the point. It raises stress. It's bad for your health. And the whole point of this is health, right? So reach out to us. We'll help you out.